Alex had always been fascinated by space stations. Not the empty, quiet kind humans built, but the bustling, colorful stations where species from every corner of the galaxy came together. Lights blinked in a million colors. Floating vehicles zipped past in transparent tubes, and strange music, partly mechanical, partly organic, filled the air. Humans were still rare here, and Alex often felt small among the crowd of aliens, each more exotic than the last. Today, Alex had a simple goal: observe. Not interfere, not draw attention, just watch. The gathering was held in a large circular hall with walls made of transparent material that showed stars glittering outside. Aliens of all shapes mingled. Some had smooth, glass-like skin. Others wore natural armor plates. Some floated without legs, and a few shimmered like light itself. Despite the differences, everyone seemed to communicate effortlessly, their voices a mix of sounds, colors, and telepathy. Alex had long since learned to rely on gestures and simple words to communicate. As Alex stood near a small table of snacks, an alien approached. It had deep purple skin, 6 eyes, and a kind of natural crown on its head that seemed to glow faintly. It smiled, and its voice resonated directly in Alex's mind. Human, it said, its tone soft but curious. Are you attached? Do you belong to another? Alex blinked. Attached? The alien tilted its head. Your relationship. Your pairing. Do you have a partner? Alex's face warmed. I'm single, they said almost too quietly, and then something strange happened. The alien's 6 eyes widened slightly, not in surprise but in delight. The creature stepped back and made a low, harmonious sound. Around them, other aliens, some who had been talking, others who had been passing by, paused. Then one by one smiles spread across their faces. Some smiles were wide, revealing patterns of teeth or light. Others were subtle, serene, almost sacred. Alex stared, confused. What just... Before Alex could finish, a gentle touch on the shoulder made them turn. A taller alien with golden eyes and silvery hair stood there. Its presence was calm but commanding. Follow me, it said. Its voice was soft, yet it carried authority that made Alex move without thinking. As they walked through the hall, Alex noticed more aliens looking their way. Not in suspicion, not in judgment, but with a quiet respect. Conversations paused, eyes lingered, and even the floating drones and security units seemed to acknowledge their presence differently. Finally, they arrived at a small room at the edge of the hall. The walls glimmered faintly and soft ambient light filled the space. The golden-eyed alien motioned for Alex to sit. I am Lyra, the alien said. And you, human, have done something unusual, Alex swallowed. I just said I'm single. Lyra tilted its head and smiled softly. Yes, and in our galaxy that matters more than you realize. Alex frowned. Matters? I don't understand, Lyra sat across from Alex. Humans are rare. Single humans, rarer still. Your species has qualities we admire deeply. Creativity, adaptability, empathy. But when unattached, you are unique. Your potential resonates differently here. Alex blinked. Resonates? You mean like a power or something? Lyra chuckled softly, a sound like wind chimes. Not in the way you think. It is not a weapon. It is influence. Humans who are single can inspire, mediate, and create connections in ways that other species cannot. Your single state is a symbol and it carries weight. Alex felt a mix of awe and disbelief. Wait, so just being single makes me special? Lyra's 6-fingered hands rested on the table. Not special in a trivial way. You have potential we rarely see in any species. You may help unite factions, resolve disputes, even influence events that could affect entire star systems. Alex's mind raced. Star systems, me? But I'm just a normal human. I don't know how to do any of that. Lyra's eyes softened. Exactly. That is why it works. You are not constrained by the rules and hierarchies that shape the rest of us. Your simplicity, your curiosity, your humanity, they create resonance. Alex shook their head, still confused but beginning to feel a spark of excitement. I guess I never thought being single could mean something like that. Lyra stood and gestured for Alex to follow. Come, you must see for yourself. They walked through corridors lined with advanced technology and alien artwork, eventually arriving at a balcony that overlooked the station's central hub. From this vantage point, Alex could see the full spectrum of species interacting. Drones zipped past, Merchants shouted prices in alien languages, and children, some human, some not, played in zero-gravity zones. Lyra pointed. "Watch closely," Alex did. A small dispute had broken out between two alien merchants over a shipment of rare crystals. Normally, such conflicts could escalate, sometimes into violence or legal battles, but as Alex simply observed, a subtle change occurred. The merchants noticed the human presence nearby. They paused, their body language softening. One merchant gestured apologetically, and the other accepted it. Within moments, what could have turned into chaos resolved peacefully. Alex gasped. I didn't even say anything," Lyra nodded. "Your presence matters. The fact that you are unattached, unbound, it signals potential, neutrality, and trustworthiness. Aliens instinctively sense it." For the next few hours, Alex followed Lyra through the station, witnessing small events that revealed this strange phenomenon. Engineers sought advice from a human stranger nearby. Children approached Alex without fear. And even the station's AI systems responded with unexpected efficiency when Alex interacted with them. By the time they returned to the hall, Alex's mind was spinning. "This is incredible, but also a little overwhelming." Lyra smiled warmly. "Yes, it will take time to understand. But know this, being single is not a weakness here. It is a gift, and you, human, must decide how to use it." As Alex left Lyra's company and rejoined the crowd, the smiles returned, gentle, welcoming, acknowledging. For the first time, Alex felt seen, truly seen. That night, as Alex drifted to sleep in a small quarters rented near the station's hub, the events replayed in their mind. Every smile, every glance, every moment of subtle influence. A simple truth, being single, had shifted the course of their life in a galaxy far from Earth. And deep down, Alex felt a thrill they had never experienced before. They had no idea what awaited in the days ahead. New challenges, new responsibilities, and new opportunities were already forming on the horizon. But for now, Alex allowed themselves to smile back at the memory of the crowd. Because for the first time, being single didn't feel like loneliness. It felt like possibility. And in a galaxy where humans were rare, that possibility might just change everything. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the space station. Light from distant stars filtered through the curved windows, painting the room in shades of blue and gold. Everything felt the same, yet somehow different. The memories of the previous evening, the smiles, the whispers, Lyra's words, lingered in Alex's mind. They still could not fully understand it, but the feeling of being noticed, of being important, was thrilling. Breakfast was a quiet affair. Alex had expected to eat alone, but as soon as they stepped into the small dining area, a few aliens approached. Each one greeted Alex with soft smiles, nods, or subtle gestures of respect. One of them, a short alien with translucent wings, hovered near the table. "Human," it said, voice melodic and clear. "You are awake early. Will you accompany me?" Alex hesitated. Sure, I guess." The alien introduced itself as Nira and led Alex to a section of the station reserved for meetings and gatherings. The area was a mix of floating platforms, soft lights, and holographic displays. Several aliens of various species were already there, each seeming to wait for Alex. Lyra appeared shortly after, moving gracefully among the platforms. "Alex," Lyra said, voice calm but commanding. "Today you will begin to understand your potential. Watch closely. Participate where you can. Do not fear mistakes. Humans are known for learning through trial." Alex swallowed and nodded. "Okay, I'll try." The first event was a minor dispute between two alien engineers. They were arguing over the repair of a transport vehicle, something that should have been simple. Normally, these disputes could drag on for hours or escalate into harsh confrontations. Alex observed quietly. They noticed a small detail the aliens had overlooked. A tiny misalignment in one of the circuits that caused the problem. Without fully realizing it, Alex spoke up, pointing out the misalignment. The engineers froze, looking at Alex with surprise. Then, almost instinctively, they paused their argument, adjusted the circuit, and the vehicle hummed to life. One engineer looked at Alex and said, "Remarkable. How did you notice that?" Alex shrugged, still feeling unsure. "I just saw it." Lyra's voice resonated in Alex's mind. "See, human? Your perspective is different. Your simplicity is clarity. You are not bound by assumptions or traditional thinking." That is why being single matters. You are unattached, unbiased, free to see what others miss. Alex's heart raced. It was one thing to hear Lyra's explanation. It was another to see it in action. The realization that their presence could genuinely help others without any formal authority felt empowering. After the repair incident, Lyra guided Alex to a training simulation room. The simulation projected a holographic scene of a planet under environmental stress. Two alien communities were in conflict over resources, and the human observer was placed in the middle. Your task, Lyra said, is to mediate. Observe, listen, and guide. You will not use force. You will use influence. That is the strength of a single human. Alex stepped into the simulation cautiously. The holographic aliens spoke in tones of urgency and frustration. One community accused the other of stealing vital energy crystals. Another complained about environmental damage caused by mining. Normally, these scenarios could escalate into violence. Alex remembered how the engineers had listened to their simple observation yesterday. Taking a deep breath, they asked questions calmly, listened to both sides, and suggested a small compromise. Share energy resources during critical periods, and develop technology to reduce environmental impact. Almost immediately, the holographic aliens responded positively. Arguments softened, gestures became respectful, and soon the conflict appeared resolved. Alex stepped back amazed. Human, Lyra said softly. Your ability to see beyond bias and conflict is rare. Single humans carry no preconceptions about belonging or hierarchy. You are free to be impartial. This is why you influence those around you. Alex's mind whirled. So, just by being me, I can help others? I can make a difference? Lyra smiled. Yes, and this is only the beginning. The day passed in a blur of new experiences. Alex helped engineers adjust complex machinery, mediated small disputes between alien merchants, and even suggested solutions to minor environmental issues on the station. Everywhere Alex went, aliens responded with respect and curiosity, sometimes whispering to each other, sometimes smiling warmly. During a break, Alex sat in a quiet corner, trying to process everything. They realized that the smiles from the night before were not random. Every reaction, every gesture confirmed what Lyra had said. Being single made Alex a symbol of neutrality, potential, and trust. A small, childlike alien floated near them. Its skin shimmered like liquid silver, and its large eyes held a curious light. Human, it said softly, why do you have no partner? Are you lonely? Alex chuckled nervously. No, I guess I'm just single. The child tilted its head. You are powerful, Alex blinked. Powerful? Me? Yes, the alien said, smiling. Your being alone, it helps others. You bring balance. They listen. They trust. They respect. Alex stared, amazed. Never had being single felt so significant. In their world, it was often a quiet, lonely thing. Here it was respected, even revered. Later, Lyra guided Alex to a large observation deck. Outside, the station stretched over a planet with glowing cities and swirling clouds. Ships of all sizes moved in harmony. Lyra turned to Alex. You see, human, Lyra said, voice soft. Our galaxy is vast. Conflicts are common. Resources are precious. Alliances are fragile. Your species, especially when single, brings something unique. You carry the potential to unite, to guide, to inspire. You may never rule armies or command fleets, but your presence alone changes outcomes. Alex took a deep breath, the enormity of it settling in. I don't know if I'm ready for this. You will learn, Lyra said, and you will grow. Each day will bring new challenges. But remember this, being single is not a flaw. It is your gift. Use it wisely. As night fell, Alex returned to their quarters, exhausted but exhilarated. They sat by the window, staring at the stars, thinking about everything they had experienced. Every smile, every subtle gesture of respect, every situation that had resolved simply because they were there. It all made a strange kind of sense now. For the first time, being single did not feel lonely. It felt important, vital even. Alex felt a sense of responsibility stir inside them. They were just one human among countless species, yet their existence carried weight, influence, and potential that no one else could replicate. And as they drifted into sleep, Alex could not help but smile. The journey had only just begun, but already being single had changed everything. Tomorrow would bring new lessons, new challenges, and new ways to understand the strange, wondrous power they carried simply by being themselves. In this galaxy, being single was not a disadvantage, it was a gift. And Alex was ready, however nervously, to discover just how far that gift could reach. The morning air in the space station hummed with energy. Alex felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness as they walked through the wide corridors. Since yesterday, the station seemed different. Aliens who had once passed by without notice now greeted Alex with subtle bows, nods, and smiles. Even the automated system seemed to respond faster, recognizing Alex's presence with efficiency that felt almost personal. Lyra met Alex near the central hub. "Today you will face something more challenging," she said. "You have seen small situations resolved through your presence. Now you will encounter an event that will test your influence in a larger way." Alex's stomach tightened. "Larger? How much larger?" Lyra's eyes glimmered with calm assurance. "A conflict has arisen among the transport crews. It may seem minor, but if left unchecked, it could disrupt the entire station's operations. You will help." Alex nodded, though their heart raced. The station's transport crews were responsible for moving goods, supplies, and passengers across the many levels of the sprawling space hub. A delay or mistake could ripple across the station, causing frustration, lost resources, and even accidents. When Alex arrived at the transport control center, they found two groups of aliens arguing heatedly. One group had purple, crystalline skin, their voices sharp and rhythmic. The other group was taller, with flowing silver hair and luminescent eyes speaking in rapid, complex patterns. Normally, such disputes required senior mediators or security intervention. Alex took a deep breath. Recalling Lyra's words, their neutrality, their humanity, their single status, these were their strengths. "Excuse me," Alex began softly. The arguing aliens paused, their multiple eyes flicking toward the human. "Can I help?" The room fell silent. No one expected a human to intervene, let alone be taken seriously. But then, as if sensing something unseen, the two groups stopped, leaning slightly forward. Alex studied the situation. Each group had legitimate complaints. The purple-skinned aliens were frustrated about route changes that disrupted schedules. The silver-haired aliens were upset about cargo mishandling. "I think I see a solution," Alex said carefully. "If we adjust the schedule slightly and rotate the crews fairly, both sides can work together without losing efficiency. And if we implement a shared tracking system, mistakes can be reduced significantly." One of the purple-skinned leaders raised a sharp, crystalline hand. "And why should we trust you?" Alex smiled nervously. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just observing. Maybe seeing things differently can help." Something subtle shifted. The aliens exchanged glances, then slowly nodded. They agreed to try Alex's suggestion. Within minutes, disputes softened, schedules were revised, and operations began to flow smoothly again. Alex stepped back, heart pounding. "It worked," they whispered. Lyra appeared at their side. "Indeed, you did not command, you did not force. You simply brought clarity and calm. That is the power of a single human. Your presence alone can guide others toward cooperation." The day continued with similar events. Alex helped troubleshoot machinery, mediated arguments between merchants, and even suggested minor environmental improvements to recycling systems. Each time the aliens responded not only to Alex's words but to their presence, as if their single status radiated trustworthiness and balance. By mid-afternoon, word of Alex's abilities had spread. Aliens approached from all corners of the station, seeking advice, input, or simply acknowledgement. Alex was tired but exhilarated. For the first time, they felt truly capable, not because of technology or formal rank, but because of their unique human qualities. During a quiet moment, Alex walked to a balcony overlooking the docking bays. Ships of every shape and size glided in and out, some docking, others taking off into the stars. The hum of engines and distant chatter created a rhythm that was oddly calming. Lyra joined Alex. "Do you feel it?" she asked. Alex looked at her. "Feel what?" "The energy of influence. You see events unfold differently now. Your presence is noticed. Your input is valued. Even small actions create ripple effects." Alex nodded slowly. "It's strange. Back on Earth, being single didn't feel like anything special. Here, it changes how others see me. How they act around me, it's powerful." "Yes," Lyra said. "And soon, You will face challenges where this power is essential. Not all events are as simple as disputes over cargo or schedules. Some will test your ability to bring calm and guidance to situations that affect many lives. Alex swallowed. The thought was both thrilling and intimidating. They had already seen glimpses of their potential. But if Lyra's words were true, the real tests were yet to come. No one had warned Alex that one of those tests would come so quickly. Late in the afternoon, the station's alarms began to blare. Red lights flashed and announcements echoed across the corridors. A critical energy transport vessel had suffered a malfunction in its propulsion system, and its cargo of rare minerals was at risk of being lost. The situation could escalate into panic as crews rushed to respond. Alex was guided to the control center by Lyra. Engineers and supervisors were already in a frenzy, giving conflicting instructions, blaming one another, and speaking in rapid alien languages that Alex only partially understood. The tension was thick, almost suffocating. Lyra leaned close. Alex, this is your moment. Observe, listen, and act. Your clarity, your humanity, your neutrality. Use it. Alex nodded. They took a deep breath, focusing on the situation as if looking through a calm lens. They noticed patterns others overlooked. Certain power conduits were overloaded while others were underutilized. Some crew members were capable of handling specific tasks, but no one had assigned them correctly. Stepping forward, Alex calmly gave instructions, pointing out which crews should handle which tasks, how energy flow should be adjusted, and what precautions to take. The effect was immediate. The frantic arguing stopped. Crew members began following Alex's guidance. Systems adjusted, alarms dimmed, and the vessel's cargo was stabilized. Within minutes, the crisis was averted. One of the senior engineers, a tall alien with copper-toned skin, approached Alex. Human, how did you manage this? Alex smiled nervously. I just looked and listened. I tried to see what everyone needed. Lyra's eyes gleamed with pride. Precisely. You did not impose authority. You simply allowed clarity to emerge. That is the human gift. And remember, it is amplified by your single state. Your neutrality allows others to trust you instinctively. As the station settled into calm once more, Alex realized something important. Their presence was not just helpful. It was transformative. Even minor interventions could prevent disaster, create cooperation, and save lives. The ripple effect of a single human was real. By evening, the station's inhabitants were whispering about Alex. Merchants spoke of the human who could calm disputes. Engineers shared stories of simple guidance that solved complex problems. Even children mimicked Alex's calm demeanor, learning how presence and observation could influence others. Alex sat alone for a moment, reflecting on the day. They had always thought being single meant being unnoticed, overlooked, even lonely. But here it was the opposite. Being unattached meant they could be unbiased, impartial, and open to seeing solutions others missed. Being single was no longer a label. It was a key to influence, understanding, and respect. Lyra joined them one last time before the night ended. Tomorrow, she said softly, you will face your greatest challenge yet. What you have learned today is only preparation. But remember, your gift is real and it is powerful. You will see the true weight and potential of a single human. Alex looked out over the station, the stars glittering beyond. Their hearts swelled with a strange mixture of pride, excitement, and anticipation. The human in them, the ordinary, once overlooked human, was beginning to understand that they could shape events, help others, and bring balance in ways no one else could. And for the first time in their life, Alex realized that being single was not just about being alone. It was about being seen, valued, and capable of influencing a galaxy in ways they had never imagined. The night stretched on, filled with quiet reflection and anticipation. Alex knew the challenges ahead would not be easy, but they also knew they had something unique. A human perspective, a single status, and a heart willing to act. And with those, the impossible suddenly seemed possible. Tomorrow would test them like never before, and Alex for the first time felt ready. The next morning, Alex awoke to a station brimming with urgency. Word had spread quickly. A diplomatic conflict between two powerful alien factions was threatening the station's stability. Both sides had been invited for talks, but tensions ran high, and the risk of violence was real. Lyra met Alex in the central hub, her calm presence a stark contrast to the chaos around them. "This is the moment, human," she said. "Your presence is needed to guide these factions. They will respond to you in ways they will not respond to each other. This is the gift of a single human." Alex swallowed hard. Just a few days ago, being single had felt ordinary. Now it was a responsibility, one that could affect countless lives. I'll do my best," Alex said, trying to steady their nerves. Lyra nodded. "That is all we ask." When they entered the grand hall for negotiations, Alex was struck by the sight. Aliens from both factions filled the room, their appearances and technologies vastly different. One group was tall and angular, with reflective metallic skin that shimmered in the light. The other was shorter, with soft fur-like textures and eyes that glowed with vibrant colors. Both sides radiated tension. Normally, mediators would rely on formal authority, military presence, or strict rules to keep order. But Alex's role was different. Their neutrality, their humanity, and their unattached status created a space that demanded attention and respect. Lyra guided Alex to the center of the hall. "Stand there," she said. "Observe, listen, and speak when you feel it is right." Alex's pulse raced. Every eye in the room seemed to focus on them. They took a deep breath, recalling the lessons of the past days. Observe, listen, act calmly, and trust their human instincts. The first exchange was heated. The tall, metallic-skinned faction accused the others of stealing vital energy resources. The shorter, fur-covered faction retaliated, claiming sabotage and dishonesty. Words were harsh, tones sharp, and body language aggressive. Alex stepped forward, voice calm but firm. "Please," they said, "let us pause and look at the problem together." Both sides froze, taken aback by the humans' quiet authority. No one expected to be asked for calm in the midst of chaos by someone so ordinary. Yet the room seemed to shift. Aliens leaned forward, listening. Alex began to speak slowly, choosing words carefully. "I see both of your concerns. Energy is scarce and trust has been broken. But if we work together, we can find a solution that protects both sides and ensures future cooperation." The factions exchanged skeptical glances. Alex continued, suggesting practical solutions: temporary energy sharing agreements, joint monitoring systems, and cooperative projects that would benefit both groups. As they spoke, Alex noticed something remarkable. The tension in the room softened. Gestures became less aggressive. Voices lowered. The factions began to listen, not because Alex commanded it, but because their presence encouraged neutrality and trust. One leader, the tallest of the metallic-skinned group, stepped forward. "Your ideas? They are unusual, but worth considering." The fur-covered leader nodded slowly. "Yes, it seems fair. Perhaps we can try this." Alex smiled, though inwardly their heart pounded. They had done nothing extraordinary, just observed, thought carefully, and spoke from a place of calm neutrality. Yet it was enough to change the course of events. Lyra, standing slightly behind, nodded approvingly. "You see, human? Your single status allows others to see clearly. You carry no hidden agenda, no attachments, just clarity and reason." The negotiations continued, with Alex guiding the discussion, asking questions and suggesting compromises. Hours passed, and slowly, the factions began to find common ground. Agreements were made, handshakes exchanged, and the room's atmosphere shifted from hostility to cautious optimism. By the end, the leaders turned to Alex, faces marked by relief and respect. One of them spoke first. "Human, your presence has brought us together. Thank you." Alex felt a warm, strange pride. For so long, being single had felt like a limitation, a simple state of being. Now it was clear that it was a source of strength, influence, and trust. As the crowd dispersed, many aliens approached Alex, offering smiles, gestures of appreciation, and quiet acknowledgement. Some whispered words of thanks. Others simply nodded, letting their expressions convey respect and recognition. Lyra approached, placing a gentle hand on Alex's shoulder. "You have done well. Today you saw the power of your presence, not through weapons, not through command, but simply through who you are, a single human." Alex exhaled deeply, watching the stars outside the station's windows. It was hard to believe that just days ago, being single had seemed unimportant, even lonely. Now it was a gift, a tool, a force that could bring peace and cooperation in ways no one else could. Later, in the quiet of their quarters, Alex reflected on the journey. They thought about every small moment, the engineers whose arguments they helped resolve, the children who approached them with curiosity, the transport crews who followed their guidance, and the leaders who had trusted a human to mediate a potential disaster. A smile spread across Alex's face. They realized that being single was not a weakness or an empty state. It was an opportunity to observe without bias, to guide without self-interest, and to create harmony where it seemed impossible. As the station lights dimmed for the night, Alex felt a sense of belonging and purpose unlike anything they had ever known. They were still a human, still ordinary in many ways, but they had discovered something extraordinary, the ability to influence, inspire, and unite simply by being themselves. Lyra's voice echoed softly in their mind, a reminder and an encouragement. Remember, human, your potential is limitless. Your influence will grow as you continue to act with clarity, empathy, and courage. Being single is not just who you are, it is your gift to this galaxy. Alex closed their eyes, letting the words sink in. They thought of the countless stars outside, each one a reminder of the vastness of space and the infinite possibilities it held. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new opportunities, and new lives to touch. But Alex knew one thing for certain. They were ready. Being single was no longer just a fact of life. It was a path, a responsibility, and a power. For the first time, Alex felt fully seen, fully capable, and fully alive. And in the quiet hum of the space station, they allowed themselves a smile, not of uncertainty, but of confidence. They had found their place in a galaxy full of wonders, and it had all begun with a simple truth. I'm single. And now, the universe was listening.